Good evening and welcome back to Nightsky Sanctum, Season 2, Episode 9. And we hope everyone is doing well. Let's start by checking the mics and making sure that everyone can be heard by going to Morningstar and have you describe your character and, yeah.
Describe my character. Well, assuming everyone can hear me, my character this evening is Elise Monster. She is a scheming Median psyche, a stylish and svelte woman who does whatever she wants and is more than happy to push a few others in the way to meet her goals.
Alright, Megan?
Hi, I play Seth, a narrowed shapeshifter that's traumatized, reckless, and very food motivated. With their familiar Ribbert, they get into all kinds of shape-shifting shenanigans. And yeah, they just basically, I just eat and be whatever they can, regardless of what anybody else says.
Nice. Azalwin?
Well, I'm Azalwin and I'm playing Yarrow, which is an Arcanist Satyr. And she's reckless and just a little bit unstable and everything. And she's just got some brand new powers to play with too, so we'll just see how reckless she'll get.
Awesome.
Or if Jean, her familiar, will let her.
Andrea?
I'm Andrea. I am playing Hollis. She is a Gob Baba who is completely. I'm not going to say she's completely obsessed, but she's pretty obsessed with death and dying and everything in between and everything that comes after. So, yeah, she. I don't know what else to say about her right now. I do want to say, I do want to say thank you to everybody who sent me some well wishes. I am feeling much better. Just really tired, so please bear with me as I try not to fall asleep tonight.
I'll do my best.
Well, best to keep you engaged.
My thoughts exactly. All right. So it has been a few weeks now since your character's last outing, and during that time, you've been able to go through some of your the spoils of war of some of your old conquests. Specifically, Elise, or anyone she trusts with them, was able to go through some of the paperwork that she secreted away from an agent of the Order's office, as well as Hollis going over some papers that were found and liberated from one of the DRG headquarters before it mysteriously burned down. And some new friends of the Coven, Levi and Rianne, have come with some interesting paperwork themselves. And so the Coven has been collectively deciphering all these scribblings and contracts and things like that. And you have some new ideas about people and things you might be able to track down to figure out what's going on here. One of the most interesting things that you have come across is writings, mostly from DRG, about an entity known as the Ruby Phantom, who has been providing DRG with living samples to do experiments on of various magical heritages. We have we have a new follower, Siberiana Hamster. Thank you so much. We have a dwarf hamster. All right. So, where would you like to begin research, or is there something else that you would like to do post downtime?
Very much research to do. Where does one start, really? Poring over books for days.
Yeah, maybe we can use some of our Coven assets to help us look for some information.
Yeah, put Quinn to work.
Yeah. And you have some new experts in your employ as well, since last time. That definitely could be commanded to take on a mission and return back with information for you.
Commanded.
Commanded,
that seems
you
like
say?
a pointed comment. What is our priority then?
It's up to you. According to your records, the contract that this Ruby Phantom has with DRG doesn't end until the end of the year. So they are probably still out there.
Yeah, it might be the more pressing circumstance to figure out how we could track down this entity who is kidnapping magical specimens before, well, one of you three ends up as one such specimen.
Well, and I feel like we're the only ones allowed to imprison people.
Apparently, Morningstar and Andrea are really muffled.
Yeah, I think all of you all are. You're on the same system. So I'll see what I can do with some filters. Try and speak now.
Test, test.
Everybody speak at once.
I took off the limiter. Hopefully that should help.
Is that
I
better?
can do my utmost to speak more crisply.
You all sound great to me, but it is going through a ton of filters before it gets out to everyone else, so that makes it a little harder for me to test.
That's why everyone thinks I sound British.
Alright.
Yes, we run British filter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine everyone in the coven right now is just looking at the sky at a pretty cloud that looks like a butt. We figure out technical difficulties.
Alright. Yeah, sorry, it takes a good 5 or 6 seconds for any changes I make to matriculate out to chat, where they can comment on it and let us know how it sounds. Would be nice if I could have like a second setup listening in that I could stick in one ear or something.
It'll make you crazy.
They're saying it just sounds muffled, but yeah. I boosted the volume and took all the filters off of it.
Now it'll come back and we'll be blasting in your ear.
That like mic quality went down.
Hmm.
We just all have to speak slowly and eloquently. Eloquently. It helps if I can actually say the word.
Well.
I could use Otherworld Omens in order to get assistance in tracking down this Ruby Phantom, perhaps, if they feel anything in the area that's maybe a threat. It just feels weird in general.
Yeah, so Otherworldly Omens would be really helpful if you put yourself like directly into a harmful situation.
Okay.
They would tell you whether you're sort of being watched. I would say, just as sort of a freebie, since you're accessing it from your coven stead, you do feel a bit of uneasiness, but nothing in particular is. No spirits are specifically coming to communicate with you. So you expect that there's nothing terribly pressing that's watching you at this moment.
Just the spirits quietly screaming that I'm duplicitous.
It's just Jack Spiderstripe throwing a little temper tantrum, giving us the
Mm.
silent treatment from everything that happened last time.
Yeah.
Trying to rearrange all of my desk stuff so my mic is closer to my face. That might help.
Yeah, I don't know. You all sound super crisp to me, so... but yeah, this is a standard Twitch problems. I'll definitely listen to this back when we go on break and see what I can do. It's just difficult to... since I'm hearing something different than what they're probably hearing. Any kind of scrying or anything you have, and of course, like you guys mentioned, any actions that anyone wants to take, either themselves, their familiars, or any contacts that you could get with all of those people can make gather information rolls if there's something that you're trying to learn.
I was thinking I could send Jean on basically a recon mission to follow it. If we knew any DRG members that could be followed and watched to maybe see where they're going. What that might also take maybe a session of reconning for her to get.
Yeah, well, we could always just skip ahead to whenever you get information back. I'm sure you all have lots of wounds and missing essence and willpower to tend to.
On the contrary.
No?
Yeah, we did pretty good last time.
Nice. Awesome.
My page is updated. I only have 4 willpower ticked on there, so.
I am at the peak of the hills.
Wow. So I think it's only Seth then that's still a little bit wounded.
You need to speak more, darling.
Hurt back.
Broken back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot.
That'll slow you down.
Yeah.
Lay down.
I broke my fish stick.
Aww.
At least it's only level 1 now.
Oh, good. You're recovering quickly with your starfish shape-shifting skills.
That's like just the invertebrates.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, a silly nudibranch, and then everything will be okay.
yeah. Welcome to the club, Aioli Daddy.
Aioli.
Daddy.
I think that's how that's pronounced. Yeah, we are. Thank you so much. Okay.
Is that like a savory version of a sugar mama?
Nice. Alright. Yeah, so, an action that you take can take potentially weeks. If you want to send out your Phoenix and have them gather information, you don't have to worry about time too much. You're not pressed currently. There's nothing, well, although if it's, I want to get this information before they strike again kind of thing, that could be a little on the pressing side.
Yeah, if it's an emergency, Jean, fly home. But I think like a good study for a while would be good.
Okay. And
That's the only thing that Jean can really do.
what's the intent? Just to monitor the area, you said, for people who work for DRG and sort of shadow them and see where they're going and...
Yeah, basically, Jean, do your best to figure out who this, if you can follow one to the Ruby Phantom or some information from that. Just,
yeah.
There's got to be some comings and goings that are regular enough for even Jean to notice.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could just find some of the DRG, I could take it from their minds straight out if you want to.
Oh, there we go. Jean can figure out who's the easiest to snatch.
Actually, because we said we were in contact with our Twin Pines coven members,
Yes.
Harriet had a rival from the DRG. Would that be a flashback or anything to get any information from Lightning about in regards to his whereabouts?
Yeah.
The information from Harriet.
So, you gave me an idea there. How about when Levi, Rianne, and the others showed up, they had a prisoner in tow.
Ooh.
I would say that's...
In a lasso.
lassoed. I would say that's well within the realm of possibility. Do you want to split like a 3 willpower flashback?
Yeah, I can do that.
And then...
2.
Well, actually, let's just make it 1 willpower from everybody,
Okay.
if you're all willing. And since all 4 of
All
your
willing
characters...
to spare willpower.
Yeah. And you guys can roll... Well, since it was sort of Seth's idea, you can maybe roll a 2-die fortune roll and see how that goes. We'll make sure our dice roller's working today. Ooh, 2 dice.
It is.
All right.
Working well.
Working well for you all. Awesome. Okay. So, when they come back to you, they're empty-handed at first, but after they tell you their story and make sure that you're on their side, they go back and they pick up their quarry. Bobby Ortega is the name of this lab-coated gentleman who they row to your island and promptly help you bring him down to the holding cells, if I remember correctly.
We do.
He appears to be a mild-mannered sape with no apparent heritages of any kind. He doesn't have any non-human or or any magical resonance of any kind on him. And they tell you that he wasn't carrying anything magical when they got him, so they're not worried that anyone followed them.
It's almost too normal.
They brought him...
Rob.
Though he is not local, they brought him from Twin Pines.
He's not local, he's a yokel.
Well, he is born and raised in Manhattan, but he at the time that they captured him, he was local. All right. So, does anyone want to interrogate him, or do you just want Elise to have at him?
I mean,
We just all look
ask
at
nicely
Elise.
first. Just be like, be nice and give us what we want, or you'll regret it.
Like, or this wonderfully dressed waif will have her way with you.
Oh, they ditched his cell phone when they captured him.
One should hope so. Well, I'd be happy to dive in there, but again, if one of you wants to try to be the good cop first, there's such thing, then I welcome you to try.
I don't think Yara would make a very good cop. She'd be more like a, I'll hit you hard so mother doesn't hit you harder type of cop. I'll hit you with my horns and you talk.
All right. I'm going to give a little background real quick on DRG for anyone who is not caught up, since they're going to probably be at least a semi-major player going forward. DRG is the well, actually, let me pull up their faction information. I have a new monitor with the entire game book on it, so okay.
Need to get a little screen graphic of like exposition.
That would be really cool. All right. So they're sort of known for being a pharmaceutical organization that studies witches in order to cure mundane diseases. DRG stands for Destiny Research Group, and the witches of Manhattan know DRG in a slightly different light than that, which is that they've been attempting to study witches with strange and unusual heritage traits like gobs and squatches and things like that, but with very, very little luck. Very few witches have wanted to put themselves in that situation to be, have their genetics checked and everything. It's incredibly dangerous because the high technology that DRG uses can be very damaging to a witch, and vice versa. A wild witch, can be very damaging to the DRG's technology as well. So, apparently, according to the information that our coven, Nightsky Sanctum, has received, DRG has been looking to this Ruby Phantom, some kind of diabolical entrepreneur, to bring them specimens that they can work on. And now, Nightsky Sanctum has one of their scientists in their holding cell. Alright, so Elise?
I shall approach this
Bobby.
scientist unless anyone else wants to do so. No? Okay. Well then, I shall just approach him, look down at him in that pathetic little cell, maybe scoff, just dismissively enough, to let him know that he really is nothing. And then I shall hold him by his chin, tilt his head upwards, and tell him that he has an opportunity to tell me who the Ruby Phantom is. Everything he knows about this criminal running about Manhattan. And if he does not, I will take it by force. And if I take it by force and I do it wrong, well, I'm sure his doctorate is not going to be very useful anymore.
Okay. Alright, so is that a quick command roll to see if you can get him talking that way before you go the astral route?
Yes, I figure let's just be a little bit gentle to start out. I mean, last time I started punching someone during an interrogation. It didn't go very well. They turned into a vampire.
Good point.
So I shall attempt to simply command him in the most mundane of fashions. And if that doesn't work, as I said, I will rip it out with magic.
Well, that was a fun sound. Alright. That's a complete success. So it looks like without even the use of any of your special talents, he spills at least as many beans as he has, which sadly is not a lot. However, he does make you an offer that he is willing to effectively be your eyes and ears if you let him go, and he can continue to gather information for you locally rather than because he agrees with you how horrible these things are that you've described to him, as far as this Ruby Phantom. Yeah.
So we've collected another rat. Rasputin will be really jealous.
So, but all he knows is that indeed it is not quite common knowledge that DRG members in the higher echelons of the organization are willing to pay high dollar for specimens. Do you have any way magically of sort of tracking him or getting information from him?
Well, we could take a material link from him, and then I could personally project to his presence.
Okay.
I was wondering if there's a way to use my new sigil craft too for somebody's power that would be maybe put a literal magic bug on him in the form of a sigil.
Yeah, you could. Elise could do something like an astral. Hermes.
He really likes the pearls.
Nice. Do something like astral takeover or mental takeover, or whatever, the really powerful full body takeover, and have it triggered under certain circumstances using a sigil.
Be cool. Or even just a mental takeover. I could just... Well, that is very loud.
That's one.
Hmm.
Wow.
Our window in that room is unfortunately not very soundproof.
Sorry, I'm trying to mute when I can, but we're right next to the highway.
Yeah, it's understandable. You're worth it. Okay, is there a plan there?
Well, as I was, I believe, saying, I think I got caught off by the alarm. If we were to simply put a mental takeover spell on a sigil that would trigger,
Mm-hmm.
then I could collect whatever information he possessed whenever I desire it without having to spontaneously succumb rather to torpor, which might be dangerous.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that just costs 1 essence from our Arcanist, and this puts a conditional marker on the individual that is invisible, and then
It looks like a curl of smoke if it was visible.
nice. Yeah, so to other people with detect magic and things like that. And then 2 essence and a study roll for the mental takeover. And what is the condition?
What is the condition? I suppose when they acquire knowledge about this Ruby Phantom.
Ruby Phantom? Okay. Do you want to have that be based on like them speaking a certain magical word? So they would be in control of activating it? Or just touching the mark wherever you put it on their body?
I think that seems like the most rational thing.
Okay.
Especially if they're going to be cooperative.
Yeah.
We don't want to bug them with something that they cannot control if they're going to be compliant.
Absolutely.
cooperation has its perks.
Yeah, we'll just tell them, hey, just only touch this when y'all are talking about some Ruby Phantom stuff.
All right, and the
Literally accidentally miss it while using the bathroom.
Activated by smoking a cigarette.
okay. And so the intention here is to basically gather information as well, just in a much better position. Okay. In that case, you can make a Morningstar as Elise. You can make a study roll to see how well your mental takeover goes when he activates it. And I'm going to roll a 2-die fortune roll to see how much information he gathers. You know what? I'm going to make it a 3-die fortune roll since there's a sigil and he has more control over it. Then that's not how I do that. I used an @ sign. Okay. So the information he's able to gain is a partial success, and your connection to him is also a partial success. Awesome. Okay. So he gets back to you after about a week, and it's right around midnight when when you feel your mind being stretched across several miles. You all happen to be out in the lower side of Manhattan at the time doing some errands.
And probably some drugs. So Elise isn't sure whether it's the drugs or the spell that we're told.
Yes, something told you just had to get out of the Covenstead. It had been almost a month that you had all spent there in downtime, and
the children were getting annoyed.
And so you're out on the streets and walking around. You actually see a couple of other witches blatantly running around. They are riding motorcycles in the air above Times Square. So they're basically riding on the road, but about 50 feet above it.
It's those days, my God. Whatever happened to a broom?
And you notice that they are all wearing military fatigues. But of course, the fact that they're flying calls them out as witches instantly. But it is at that exact time, as you're standing a few blocks away from Times Square, that Elise feels her mind being tugged northwest from where you're currently at, and you find yourself reconnected with Bobby, and you can immediately feel the life force draining out of him, but you have access to his mind for a few short seconds before he dies. So we will see what you get from him.
If I can hear it too, my earbud keeps getting pulled out.
So the first thing you get is an apology from him in his mind that he is sorry that he wasn't able to get more information, but he was caught trying to get the information and is currently in a lab having some experiments run on him, and his body is very quickly rejecting all of his major organs, so he only has a few moments left to live. So what do you want to know from him?
Well, I would like to know what it is he sees. Obviously, his
So you're just gonna basically go through his mental files on everything he had squirreled away to try to send to you all.
But that would certainly be useful. I was also just curious about if he's being experimented on.
Yeah.
We can assume that whoever's experimenting on him, rather, is a part of the conspiracy.
Yeah. So the you sort of do this you know how people say their life passes in front of their eyes. You're basically doing that to him. You're sort of rewinding the tape of his experiences and seeing what it is you can glean from them as his mind fades. And you see a couple of telltale things. One of them is that magical creatures and other witches during the last week or so that he's been away from you have been paying him more attention than usual. And he has made a lot of mental note of the fact that having this sigil on him, or possibly just having had the experience with you all, has sort of made him a magnet for unusual occurrences. And you see him getting called into a meeting by his superiors, and commended for his work in Appalachia, but everything seems relatively normal until he walks out of the meeting and someone beckons him down a hallway, and as soon as he turns the corner, he gets hit from behind and dragged away. And the next thing you know is he has woken up in what appears to be the basement of a DRG building, and he sees himself laying across from a satyr who is on the bed opposite him, and fluids and things are being transferred across from his body to this satyr's and vice versa. And you hear, sort of as his mind recedes away from conscious reality, that I hope you enjoy the blood of the Ruby Phantom's latest victim, causing your organs to shut down. And it does, and he quickly dies.
Goodness.
These experiments seem completely unnecessary. My God, what a waste of resources. If you're going to kill a man, do it with a knife or a gun. God, don't waste valuable resources like satyr blood.
Yeah. Because you all have a good, strong telepathic bond with one another, you're all able to see this just as vividly as Elise. Any parts of it that she is willing to send across.
Oh, yes, I'll let them all share in so they can have nightmares.
Thanks.
Yarrow is now traumatized from seeing a satyr just being experimented on so freely.
Let's have everybody make a 1-die fortune roll, except have Yarrow make a 2-die fortune roll, because Yarrow tends to pay attention to other satyrs.
Yeah, Yarrow's like horns.
This is to see if you all know any information about or recognize the satyr. That was a partial success for Yarrow. Nothing for Megan. A partial success for Morningstar. And a 1 for Hollis. Okay. So, Morningstar and Yarrow, Elise and Yarrow are able to glean a little bit of additional information. I think Yarrow knows a place where satyrs have been known to get together. What do you think about in a not very well-known section of Central Park?
Yeah, I feel like, well, either that or, yeah, because I think
Together in a dance in the
outside the
moonlight.
city limits are a little too far as well.
Yeah. And
All the way off
for
in Yonkers.
and for Elise, what did you recognize that might help you identify this satyr?
Well, Elise has an eye for fashion. Perhaps she
Hmm.
sported a certain type of dress, assuming that the satyr is not completely naked.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not naked. Though in a hospital gown. However, you do see a moon symbol that looks like it's made of gold, and it's sort of imprinted into the horn. So kind of like an earring, but like literally stamped into the horn.
Like an inlay.
Yeah, inlaid. Good
Oh,
way of putting that. And
oh, Yarrow, darling, we simply must have yours carved. Isn't this stunning?
Jarl is extremely jealous at this moment.
yeah, and I would say you recognize the tattoo artist that, or who does a lot of other things besides tattoos. Who you recognize that that symbol, so they might know some more information.
Maybe they can be a jewelry maker, and we form a pact with a jewelry maker. Make us all some pretty baubles. We can imbue with all kinds of power.
Baubles are always nice. Well then,
Oh, and I would say that from that rewind, you were also able to tell where this DRG building is, and from him looking around, that it was definitely in a windowless cement room, so probably underground.
oh, well, last time we went underground in a Destiny Research Group facility, I was nearly immolated.
Yeah.
So, shall we risk it again?
Oh, we don't
In
ask
an
Jarl that
immolation.
reckless.
No,
I
but
was-
first we must find out where this is. So we must find out more about the satyr, perhaps.
That's probably the safer route to start with, at the very
More
least.
straightforward, at least, rather than just charging into every DRG building we could find and storming the basement.
Like, yeah, maybe if we can get a personal effect of the satyrs, we can use it to zero in. Like, if we can find the satyr's family or something, somebody that knows them.
Yeah. Well, if they're still alive, Elise's information should be enough to find them. And this did all just happen more or less instantly while you were all on Manhattan, so...
So we can move quickly.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
one die fortune roll and see how far you all are from that location. Moderately. Oh, this is a good time for me to mention that we do have some new channel point rewards, including one that's called the Hand of Fate. If there's something going on and you want to have a hand in modifying it, the Hand of Fate gives a 1 die roll, and if it's a 1, 2, or 3, something negative happens. If it's a 4 or 5, something a little positive happens, and if it's 6, something very good and helpful happens to Nightsky Sanctum Coven. So, it sort of applies to everyone. So feel free, if you think we need to be injected with a little bit of energy, to use the Hand of Fate. We're using that for now until I get the flashback assistance stuff worked out. I'm still working on how that'll go, but I hope this ends up pretty well. It's got a fun little animation with it too. Okay, so you find yourselves, I'd say 18 blocks or so a little under 2 miles away from this DRG location. It seemed to be moderately high security. Even Bobby had a little bit of a hard time getting in. He had to get some people to buzz him in because he didn't have credentials for that specific building.
Well, then we could just get people to buzz us in as well.
How are you getting there? Walking, running, flying, taking the subway?
I had a question because I have my broken back from the previous session. It's level 1, but like, would that? I'm assuming that would impact my way to kind of get there with the group, slow me down, or?
It could, if you want to arrive late. That would give you an experience point at the end of the session. That, maybe you need to take the subway because of your hurt back. You can't just hoof it.
Okay.
So, yeah. How about?
Yeah, you know what? I might do that. Just I want to try to play more into the actual like using the harm that I've been given. So I'll do that, and I'll take the subway. So I'm kind of like showing up behind everybody else. Like, oh, my sciatica.
Awesome. All right. Okay. In that case, why don't you make a 1-die fortune roll? Because the subway is...
I'm doing it for the RP, not for the point.
Oh, no!
Oh,
Okay.
I'm stuck.
All right. So how about the other three of you? How are you getting to this DRG?
I was gonna classically alacrity over there, and somebody could ride piggyback with me.
Yeah, alacrity gets you short distance really fast, but it's not great for like 18 block travel.
I do have.
Whoa, that actually scared me. Bloody Rose just used our first Hand of Fate, and threw an extra little nice little 2 in there for that. So yeah, we'll handle that in just 1 second. What were you going to do?
I was gonna say that, or the cloaky can take me along, and I don't have to use my foot so much.
Oh yeah. So like maybe you alacrity up a building and then use your cloak to like jump off and float toward your goal. Awesome.
I'm gonna parasail my way down with my cloak.
Okay. Okay. So is anybody else able to go that way with her?
I mean, I can fly with a run, so I'll just make sure that they don't crash into a tree or anything.
Okay. Oh,
It's
yeah.
stuck in a window.
Taking a taxi.
Elise hailing a taxi and then taking over the mind of the cab driver.
Oh, yes, I'm not paying.
Awesome. Okay.
That might be your best chance of getting buzzed in too, not showing up with a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah. Yeah, the one Median of the
for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yarrow.
If I go by myself, I stand out in a good way. If I go with you guys, I stand out in a bad way.
Right. Okay. So, Hollis, you are flying alongside and trying to catch up with Yarrow. as Yarrow is slowly descending from building to building, heading northward, and you spot that Yarrow is heading toward and probably going to land on a Red Watch building. You recognize some of the hover vehicles as ones that you've dealt with in the past. I think you guys actually destroyed one a couple of several sessions ago. But yeah, you see her hovering scarily close to a Red Watch building, and are worried what might happen if she ends up there. At least they might recognize her.
Can I fly over and grab her with the owl talons and just kind of pull her in a better direction?
Yeah, what do you want to roll for that?
I was thinking something, maybe finesse.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You're sort of finessing the direction she's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do some willpower so I don't super boggle it.
Would you like a Fey Bargain instead?
Sure.
Keep the willpower for an extra die? Okay.
Yeah.
How about, before you roll,
Mhm.
so, well, now that I said it, now I can't think of any. Anybody have any ideas for a Fey Bargain when near a Red Watch tower? Can't really drop
At this
any
point,
items.
they are aware of all our familiars at this point, right? I think we've all kind of
Yeah.
pinged them on their radar, so they could just be like, "Oh, we know them."
Yeah, maybe +1 fate for the Red Watch recognizing Iran.
Okay.
Maybe on camera or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, because grabbing a hold of a witch and redirecting their directions is definitely not something that normal animals do.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't notice right away, but somebody watching the tapes back later is gonna spot it and be like, okay, that's going in my daily notes.
They just freeze frame a shot of Yarrow, or not Yarrow, of Iran in front of the camera, and it's got the tiny little like fanny pack that Hollis sits in.
Okay. It's a partial success, so I think you are able to stop Yarrow from landing on the Red Watch Tower. However, you do end up sort of having to descend to street level from the side of the building and walk the extra like 5 blocks.
Like heathens. Walking out here like I'm a safe or something.
Because the city streets are so bad, though, you still make it there at about the same time as Elise.
Elise was in air conditioning the entire time.
That's true. Good point. Seth, you are confronted by a number of individuals. At first, they're just playing loud music, like loud live music on the subway car. But as they finish up,
They sound horrible.
what do you look like right now? What form are you in?
Getting on the subway card, so I can just look like Tina right now, I guess, just generic person.
Okay.
Tina is your go-to for generic. Not only has she died after being enslaved, essentially, but now, no respect after death. She has become the face of normalcy.
Yeah, she had all of her limbs ripped off in a terrible ritual. But at least she lives on in Seth, who knows her so intimately that that every wrinkle, every curve is exactly the way you all remember her.
I'm the superior Tina.
Yeah, because you're still alive. You made it.
So good, I almost want to berate Sav. Just looking at them like that, I can feel the incompetence irradiating from them.
So Seth, they see you, and you hear them like whispering to each other. She looks professional. She's probably got money, and so they like have their like electronic card reader things out in their hands, and they're like, "Give us 5 credits. Give us 15 credits. Give us 25 credits." And they're just like putting their electronics in your face, and that is probably not going to go well for them on its own. But what do you want to do?
Well, it's gonna make me not feel great. Can I just like throw up?
Oh, okay.
Like they're in my face, I just like. Ugh.
A deluge of seawater just fills the entire subway car.
I feel
like low tide and sardines.
I feel like if anybody has
fish flopping about still in the
if anybody has good body control and the ability to sort of vomit on command, it's a shapeshifter. So, do you have?
Channel my inner llama at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have the ability that lets you? Let me see what that's called. Shifter. Animal senses? No.
No, I don't have that one. I have all the other Grimoire powers except that.
Gotcha.
Quick, just turn your stomach into a sea cucumber, and that's it.
I don't know. I think enigmatic form, shapeshift to perform a supernatural feat of athletics.
I mean, I can convulse my diaphragm and everything, make myself throw up. So maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, enigmatic form to toss some cookies. We'll do that.
Nice.
Now, do I have to do a roll for this?
For enigmatic form, no. But Isabella just mentioned that there is a general power that's very similar to what I was thinking of. So I'm looking through them real quick. That lets you take on Nature's Gift. Once per undertaking, gain an animal's physical, mental, or sensory ability or potency on a specific action. By calling on the animal's spirit. It's not really a shapeshiftery thing. It's more of embodying their true essence. Interesting. Thank you for that, Isabella.
Just writing that down for later because I'm currently stacking points for Grimoire XP.
Nice.
So I might consider that.
I was thinking like finesse could work. Maybe brawl.
It is a pretty offensive move right now.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Finesse and brawl is the same point.
You could spring it at them.
Definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll do finesse to see if I can get all 3 of them.
Ooh. Okay.
Just like when people like projectile after they drink too much milk.
I'm gonna say reduced effect unless you want to like maybe go dire form so that you have a lot of vomit.
Sure. Top 2 essence on chundering. There we go.
I did not know that word.
Okay, so here we go.
Ooh, we have a 6. Is that a 6? Yeah, hang on.
Yes.
Okay. Let me show if I can get that to reroll. Okay, there we go. Okay,
what
6, 4, 1.
Chunder down under.
All right, so you can describe that. That's a complete success.
Okay. As they put their electronic devices in my face, Seth can just feel this feeling of like sweat coming up around their face. They're visibly uncomfortable with the people being close to them as well as the technology. And they just tighten up their stomach and their insides and they just keel backwards and just up in the air and it rains vomit down on top of them. The subway car is like, it already stinks. I've just made it worse for everybody else. It's coming down the stairs now.
Yeah.
It's slippery, it's wet, it's gross, and it's great.
And it's your stop. So
It's my stop.
yeah.
Bye, guys.
So
I'll
you
leave you this present.
turn and head for the door. And
Just like, do like one of these. Bye.
And they're just standing there themselves and their instruments covered. Yep. And
It's in my audio jack, like holding their phone.
All right, yeah, you make it back up to the surface, and it's only like 2 more blocks to get where you're going.
Nice.
All right. So the 4 of you are able to meet back up. Oh, there. Yep, okay. My video paused, at least on my screen, for several seconds. The 4 of you are able to meet back up about a block south of where you're headed so that you can figure out what the plan is. Although you can telepathically communicate, so it's really up to you guys whether you need to meet back up for that.
I wouldn't want to meet back up just so we don't hinder Elisa's chances of getting in the building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, darling, getting in the building is simply a matter of forcing someone to let us in the building. It really doesn't matter what we look like.
I was just going to lay down in the street and look like I was injured, and then maybe this Ruby Phantom person would be like, oh, easy game.
Well, we could potentially just do a little bit of a ruse.
Yeah,
I could attempt to bring one of you in.
I want the deal that you're giving the Ruby Phantom. All right. So yeah, what's the plan and method and detail, and we can make a engagement roll.
This isn't the same building that we broke into last time.
It is a different building, yeah. This one seems it's much taller. It's 5 stories tall rather than the 3 of the previous, and it seems to be much better fortified. Stronger walls. It's an older building for sure.
5 stories tall. We could go to one of the surrounding buildings and just jump from it.
Mm-hmm.
Onto the roof.
Everybody hold on to my hooves. I'll telekinesis all the way up there.
I was just thinking Seth could turn into a giant frog.
Froggy hop.
That's the magic words.
Guess this would be a deception method.
I do have this by my desk.
Aww.
Aww.
He's a puppet now.
It's a Kermit frog.
So this is like a rescue mission?
A rescue mission? Oh, yeah, I guess technically we are trying to save somebody.
Or
I
destroy?
I was thinking like...
we want to avoid the collateral.
Yeah. Deception with angle as the detail would maybe work.
Okay.
But yeah, if it was like a rescue mission with like as the method, and I don't know what the detail would be.
What was the method? Sorry. Deception?
I mean, I was just kind of making one up because we don't have one that's rescue on the sheet.
No, rescue is the job.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe deception method, angle details, so we could sneak in maybe in 2 different ways. Elise through the front and us through, the side back.
Okay. So 2 different deceptions, or maybe a deception and a stealth?
Yeah.
Okay. So Elise and Hollis from the front, trying to do the plan, and maybe Seth and Yarrow from the top, or something similar, some other method of stealth.
Yeah, as stealthy as Yarrow gets, but
Well,
Yarrow's stealth.
yeah.
You don't expect me to come from the top.
Now that you have the sorry, I've lost my. Now that you have Alacrity, you can be a lot more stealthy than you were able to before. And of course, Seth can shapeshift, so they can go anywhere they want.
They just hear really fast clip clops and don't know where it came from.
Okay. So let's start with the stealth. Seth, how do you want to go about that?
Well, I'm with everybody else at this point, or I'm still the 2 blocks away.
Oh yeah, no, you've all had a chance to meet up, or are meeting up mentally, telepathically.
Okay.
So.
I mean, I could just shift into a bug,
Yeah.
I guess, and find my way in. Do a little renaissance. Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance,
Goodness.
the Renaissance.
It's too hot to do words properly today.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you still love me if I was a small bug worming
Would
my
you
way
still
through
love
the
me
air?
if I was a worm? Okay. Yeah, I'll shapeshift and do some kind of a. I'll be a literal fly on the wall. I'll be a fly, and I'll try to get my way in.
Okay. And Yara?
I'm going to do my best to climb onto the building next to it, try to jump down with my capey for one, and then Alacrity, the quickest way I can find from an emergency exit or something. I'm going to stick to my shadows.
I would say you
It's
could probably just Alacrity right up the side of a 5-story building if you wanted to.
Oh,
yeah, you're fast. Yeah. All right.
So quick.
Okay, in that case, that's 1 essence for Alacrity and none for Seth. And I'm gonna say that's gonna be a 3-die. That's gonna be a 3-die engagement roll for you two.
Ooh.
And that's a partial success. And then for the other 2 of you, what's the plan? Or do you want
I
to?
suppose we could just walk in there. I mean, we could just walk in there and make them give us a little tour, but we could put on a show as well. Pretend that Horace is there for experimentation. It wouldn't be the first time, would it?
Yeah, Hollis has been there already.
Yeah, different building and everything, but definitely, yeah. She's not in their system, thankfully.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, they're gonna get
on the wall. Don't admit this person.
Okay, so what you've got is a stone or a concrete staircase that leads up about 8 feet, and then there's a nice sort of outdoor lobby there, and then a set of very heavy metal doors, double doors, and a kiosk off to the right-hand side of that set of double doors that looks like it has some computer equipment that's used for, card scanning, and it looks like there's retinal scanners in there and things like that. But you can see clear as day there's a call button as well, so you could go the extremely direct route and literally just try to make use of their call button technology and see if that works for you.
push it with a stick.
Gremlins can climb sticks.
Use your cigarette holder.
Is there anybody out here at the kiosk?
If you wait long enough, you'll at least get people leaving. Based on the time of day, you'll probably see people leaving the building. Do you want to try to mind ride somebody there, or just convince them?
A mind ride might be easier than trying to convince them.
Okay. All right.
It would be smoother to get ourselves into the building if I just use a bit of magic rather than trying to convince someone.
Okay.
But then once we're in, Hollis, we could certainly use that excuse.
Okay. In that case, whatever grimoire power you're using, spend the requisite essence, and then I will roll it for a engagement roll.
I think psychic impulse might make the most sense.
That makes sense, yeah. All right. Which is basically turn around and swipe your card again. Like you're going back
rather than taking over their entire body, which might be a bit excessive.
Yeah. All right. I think that's another three die engagement roll because of the use of that power and having Hollis there in tow. I assume you're putting up a whole show of having Hollis bound to you.
Well, yes, but we don't need to use rope that's actually well tied.
Okay. Okay.
And we can make sure that the rope is very flammable as well.
All right. So, your maneuver happens so quickly that you are up the steps right as the door is opening. The person sees you and is shocked by seeing this gob that is in tow with you, and as soon as they see you and you see that shocked look on their face, you have control of them, and they turn, swipe their card, let you in with a bow, and yeah, and then they just walk away as if they didn't see a thing, and you are standing inside the lobby. However, Seth and Yarrow are now in a risky situation, as they have made it up to the roof, but as soon as you appear there, you are, or at least Yarrow, who is visible. Seth is a small bug, and therefore not as easy to spot. But Yarrow, you come to rest after rapidly climbing the building, just to the side of a smoking lounge that is on the roof of the building, and there are 3 people already there, sitting at a table. 2 of them are smoking, and the other is not. But you are now not visible to them, but you have made enough of a racket that they think that there might be a 4th person up here on the roof with them. And with that, we are going to take a quick break. So we'll be back in just a moment.
But don't go away.
It's such a pretty intro.
That's basically acceptable.
Welcome back to Nightsky Sanctum. Our coven is really getting into trouble now. Yarrow and Seth are very close to potentially being discovered by some of the administrators at DRG on top of their building in the smoking area. And so, what would the two of you like to do now?
I was gonna try to use some of my telekinesis to move like a rock on the other side of the roof. Just like move it a little bit, like it fell off of the edge of the roof or something, and maybe that's what they heard.
Gotcha. You could like flip the ashtray.
Yeah,
that they're
like,
using.
oh, it's just windy out here. It's
Yeah, good point. Okay, so a wind, Bloody Rose White Wolf just used the Hand of Fate, and I agree with you. The wind kicked up, and it grabs their little flimsy ashtray and throws it across the area, and it happens to clatter to the feet of Yarrow.
oh no.
So
No.
right as you're like about to work your magic and trying to decide what is going to get telekinesis, your ashes are all over your hooves, and yeah, two of the three turn toward you and gasp.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry, that was Struggle Princess that used that. I got I got it mixed up because of the order the comments came in. All right. Thank you, Struggle Princess, for the Hand of Fate. All right, yeah, Isabella, time for murder. So,
Yes. I was wondering. I was gonna try to use just a word of power.
Yeah, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna put them asleep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say sleep, and they're just gonna wake up. That way they're
going to wake up and wonder what was in those cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That was just all hallucination.
So power word sleep, power words or words of power generally work on one target at a time, but there are 3 of them, and so that would just be 2 essence to upgrade that, so you can use it on all of them.
Yeah, I'll do that and use 3 of the essence total from my horns, my horn tips, so that leaves 3 left in the reservoir.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just going to do a focus roll and yell, and I'm just gonna yell sleep at them. I'm gonna put them all asleep. Which
Let's
I think
see how it goes. You have a bad track record with words of power. Ooh, partial success.
Into something without ears.
To me, that's a total success.
Yeah.
for being these words.
I think the 2 of the 3 are immediately fall to the ground unconscious, and the third just happened to miss. It just happened to go right past them, and he just runs to the door, trying to get back down inside. And you watch him grab his belt, pull a key card on a little stretchy thing, and swipe it across beside the door, and it beeps twice. It seems to be a positive beep, and he bolts through the door, but leaves it partially open as he is running in.
Oh, you know I'm alacrity right in there. Like, little Seth Fly, hold on to the horn, let's go.
Yes, Seth, are you hanging on for dear life, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you trying to catch up to him? Do you want to tackle him in there or anything?
I think I want to just sneak in right behind. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to figure out how to knock him out. I want to sneak him right in behind him, but I want to try like a little karate chop and knock him out.
Okay.
Because I'm feeling extra like excited because I did the power words right, and
Yeah.
so Yarl's like a dorky karate chop. Let's go.
Okay, what do you want to use for that?
I guess that would just be a brawl because
Makes
or
sense.
a spring because that is I'm springing in on him. He doesn't. It's a
Yeah.
surprise. I don't.
Yeah. Since you're using alacrity, that gives you either enhanced speed, balance, endurance, flexibility, and reflexes, plus 1d and plus effect on a physical action roll, or shift position to controlled. So I think maybe the best use of that would be to get through that door quickly, and instead of it being risky, you're on him so fast that he doesn't even know what hit him.
Yeah, let's be controlled on this one.
Okay, awesome.
Yarl's like, I'm using all my focus. Draw it all in.
All right, and that roll
Oh,
is...
I knew it had a cost.
Okay. Not
Maybe
a
I'm too
1.
enthusiastic and I break my hand a little bit.
Oh, no. That's 2 dice, so you get to take the 4. So, okay, on a controlled, you get a success at a cost, so you can choose to withdraw and try a different approach, to take minor harm, lose this well, no, not lose this opportunity, have a minor complication, or the position becomes risky again.
I'll take a minor complication any day.
Okay. All right.
Complicate me. I'm so complicated.
Okay. I think you hit him and he turns around, and you or maybe he just like shoves something behind him as you hit him, and you feel electricity crackle as he grazes you with a stun baton, and you're going to take level 1 harm. And but you also get your effect. So what's the idea? So what you've done is you've followed him down about 4 stairs, down into the lower level, and that's when you caught up to him.
Oh yeah, I completely I karate chopped him, but in just that right spot that'll make somebody kind of knock over. And I guess when he did so, he might have yanked me down, and I could have sprained a hoof.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's bad enough that he got you with the stun baton a little bit on the way down. So but yeah. He drops it and he kind of slumps back onto the stair rail, and you hear his stun baton go rolling down the stairs. Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Well, hopefully nobody's down there. Where'd the stun baton come from?
All right. It's a relatively well-lit staircase, and
Yeah, what do I see around here anyway?
Yeah, you see sort of lights every level, and it looks like another level down the stairs, and you would come to another set of doors. These do not look like they require a key, or they do look like they require a key card, because these stairs continue down all 5 stories of the building.
Is it? Well, I should have grabbed the key. Actually, can I grab the key card off?
He's still there right in front of you.
No, I'm taking that key card.
Okay.
I'm just gonna grab it, and it's like, nope, this is mine. And then probably just literally try to use the key card to go through the door and see if I can get through without him grabbing me.
Okay. Make a 1-die fortune roll, because these electronics tend not to go the way we hope.
Oh, it'll be fun. Like let's just try. I think it's the first time Yaro's actually tried messing with something besides
Technology.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, not a good result.
Yeah, so you swipe the card, and it starts to beep that same beep you heard upstairs, but then the speaker blows, and the entire device loses power, and you see a couple sparks come out as well.
Oh no. Well, I mean, does that mean the door opens?
No.
Dang. Sometimes in movies that happens.
Mhm.
Would it be possible to use arcane supremacy at this point?
Yeah, so you want to use that to which effect?
To see if I can, while it's all kind of on the fraz anyway, just unlock it.
Okay, open a locked door. Sure.
Yeah. Which I think it's a focus roll. Or no, that would be to dispel enchantment. So it's just essence, I believe, for just locking or non-locking. Or should I do a focus roll?
Let's see. Unlock a non-magical door, no matter what physical force impels it to close. Yep, no roll needed for that. You just spend the essence. So what does that look like?
Yeah, literally, I'm like, oh, I just think everything's on the fritz, so I'm just going to get my opportunity in there, and I'm just going to give it like a good old kick with the hoof and see if I can just pop it open. I pop the lock on it like you would like an old safe.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, you hit it, and you wait for about 2 seconds, and you sort of have it timed in your mind. You're like, the shock waves of your kick are working their way through the door's mechanisms, and then you hear cha-chunk, and then the magnets that are, these ultra-powerful magnets that are holding the door closed, disengage, and the door just slides open like you're on Star Trek.
All right, now we need to go after the safes, guys.
So Elise and Hollis are downstairs in the lobby. There is a security guard standing off to the right, blocking a hallway that leads down into what you presume is offices. Then there's a waiting area to your left, and there is a woman at the desk directly ahead of you. And as soon as she sees your situation, she seems to know exactly what she's supposed to do, because she jumps up out of her desk, waves the guard over, and walks, and she just sort of stomps toward you. The guard looks like he's done this a dozen times, and he's used to it by now. But she stomps right up to you and says, "You know you're supposed to use the side door. Can't be coming in off the streets. But we're so glad to have you." She looks down at Hollis. "We're so glad to have you here. Thank you for helping us out." And with that, she steps forward and tries to put a gag in your mouth.
That escalated quickly.
Well, at some point they'd have to take it back out. So I'm just going to let them put the gag in my mouth for right now.
Okay. The guard walks past the two of you and goes and locks the door from the inside to make sure no one else comes in while you guys are doing this. And they march you and Elise down into that main hallway that the guard would have been blocking. And let's see, the receptionist walks up to Elise and asks who her contract is with.
Having taken that information from Bobby Ortega's mind, do I know any meaningful names?
He wasn't very knowledgeable in this area, which is why he was trying to get information for you, but The only name that you still have at this point is the Ruby Phantom. And
I have an
that's...
idea then.
Yeah.
I will attempt a mental takeover to see whose name would be an acceptable answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's gonna be the person that knows. All right.
She'll know whether I'm lying or not, so I'll give her the right answer.
Okay.
So a mental takeover would be starting. All right. So Elise will take a drag from her holder, which nobody took away from her, even though she's inside the building. I guess it's smoking allowed, even though they're up on the roof.
She reaches out to you to, like, tell you, but without trying to actually physically stop you. But she's, like, reaching out to tell you no smoking, but your spell will probably go off before she has a chance to get the words out of her mouth, so...
Big burst of smoke goes right into her face before she can say anything, and...
Okay.
Oh, it's a failure.
Oh, no.
Wow, on 3 dice.
Okay. So...
The whole coven gasps.
Yeah, consequences of poor execution of this power are devastating, more often for the victim than the caster. When you reach into her mind, you are immediately, it's almost like you get diverted, and her mind and her conscious mind is, like, trying its best to, like, repel you, but in that effort that her mind is going through, you sort of shred her conscious mind while trying to reach in, and she is reaching for you to sort of bat the cigarette holder out of your hand, and she just twists forward and then falls to the side, and she's just drooling on the floor. So we're gonna go to, I think we're gonna go to Desperate. The security guard is behind you, and he's going for his gun.
Oh, my goodness.
Can I...
You can't bite.
No, I was gonna say my bonds are not very tight.
Right.
Maybe I can just get out of them, pull the gag out of my mouth, and bite him on the hand, and necrotize his hand.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that's sort of a multifaceted thing, but I think, yeah, what are you thinking of for an action?
I was thinking brawl, just because of I just feel like biting is brawling.
Yeah. How about lesser effect? Because there's so many things you need to do to get into the sort of fictional position to get a good bite on him.
Sure.
Undoing the bonds and getting the gag out of your mouth. So yeah, reduced effect, but and desperate.
Okay. Yeah.
But on 3 dice. Woo! Alright. Reduced effect, but a complete success. So, for the reduced effect, you are definitely... So you've gotten your hands free, you've gotten the gag out of your mouth, and you rush him, and you sort of push his arm that has his gun away. So you're not in any danger of being shot yourself. And now you are ready to go in for the bite. So you can choose how you want to do that. it's not going to be reduced effect anymore. And this will cost some essence, I think.
Yeah, it's 1 essence to do the necrotizing part.
Nice.
Um,
You're using...
Should I roll for like actually doing the physical damage, or should I like roll focus for like doing the spell work?
Death's Blessing doesn't usually have a roll. You can do all the things that you're used to doing. And, considering you got a 6, I'm just going to say no need for an extra roll.
Okay.
So you can describe what that looks like, your necrotic bite, and where you're getting him.
Okay. I figure once she kind of knocks his hand away, she's not gonna like so much knock it, she's gonna grab his hand
Okay.
and pull it away from the gun and basically into her mouth. And when she bites down, his hand kind of starts to go through the process of decomposition. So at first it kind of swells, and then as time goes on, little bits of flesh fall off, and as it goes a little bit longer, it shrivels back up, and his muscle and veins and everything in his hands are kind of shriveling into mummification, sort of.
Nice. All right, yeah, and that extends most of the way up his arm, and he drops the gun, and
Well, he can't hold it.
yeah, and yeah, his yeah. So we'll leave it there for another action. What do you two want to do now? He's disarmed, but still not. You're not completely out of the woods yet.
Hollis is going to laugh with glee at being able to do this for the first time.
Yeah, and probably watching him necrotize with all of your curiosity.
Yep.
You want to put another bite on him somewhere else and see if how it works?
I mean-
in the middle.
We are at a research facility. They've
Yeah.
been performing experiments on witches like you, dear Horace, for so long. It only seems right that you perform a few while we're here.
Well,
Yeah.
I was just curious, what happens if I bite him in the face?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I would jump up onto his back and like go for, the back of his neck, head area, or his ear or his cheek, whatever I can get to. But I want to be on his back so that he has a harder time getting me off.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. What do you think that is? You've already done a brawl, so maybe a spring to get up on his back?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to spend some willpower to get some extra spring.
Okay. Gonna be risky and standard effect.
Okay.
And you want to spend an essence to get the ability
Yeah.
again?
For sure.
Uh-oh. Disco Android
What?
didn't play properly.
Oh. It frightened me. I was like, what?
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh no.
There's the uh-oh.
Oh no.
Let me see if I can get this disco to play. Well, I cannot. Let's see. Okay. So I think what this looks like is you get around the side of him, but he's sort of keeping his awareness about him despite the extreme pain, as his hand is virtually disintegrating at this point in front of his eyes. And when you jump up onto his back, he grabs a hold of the back of your shirt and flings you forward with his offhand. It's you don't hit the ground or anything. It's just mostly wrenching. So it's only going to be level 1 harm.
Okay.
And he did it just before you bit down on him. So you can also retain that point of essence because you didn't get to use it.
Shall we just kill him, or shall I just make him leave? Yeah, I suppose he's already seen us, so it's best if we just kill him.
Yeah, may as well.
Well, the gun sound seems like it might be a bit noisy,
Hmm.
but I do have throwing knives. They haven't been used in some time.
But knowing you, I'm sure you've kept them good, sharp, and clean.
Yes, and attached to my garter. So Elise will raise up the slit on her dress and very swiftly attempt to pull out a dagger and fling it at the guard.
Where do you want to get him? What's the intent?
Well, the ideal would be the throat, just to kill him. But we shall
Sounds
see if
good.
that is the result. Would finesse or target make more sense for a thrown knife?
I could definitely see either. In the case of going for the throat, I think target makes a tiny bit more sense.
It is a smaller area, so.
Yes. Well, I'm going to use a little bit of willpower, I think,
Okay.
because I haven't used much this session, in the hopes of bumping that up one more die.
Okay.
And we shall see if Elise's aim is as true as it once was.
I'm going to say this is controlled because he's distant from you. And
Seems
that's a 6.
the knife has met its mark.
Alright. The knife slashes his throat and sticks in the muscle of his neck. And he just proceeds to bleed from the open wound. Hollis, who is now sort of on her back in front of him, is getting showered in his blood from underneath. And very quickly thereafter, he collapses from blood loss. And
I want to jump up and down his chest to get all the blood to squirt out.
all right, you pump him.
Up and dry.
And it is at this point that you realize that there is no one left here for you to worry about. However, you do notice that there are several cameras around.
Can I animate his corpse to have him open all the doors for us?
I don't know about open all the doors for you, but you can definitely animate his corpse, and
Well, he can just swipe the cards for us so we don't blow up the boxes.
yeah.
This card swiping zombie.
Yeah. Between her and him, you probably have a decent amount of basic access between their cards. So yeah, how do you want to do that? Do you want to use one of your grimoire powers?
Yeah, my grimoire ability, animate corpse.
All right.
Yeah. 1 essence, corpse follows, spoken commands, start a harm clock, action rolls made at Coven tier.
New one is action rolls made at 1 die. unless you use Reshape Corpse on him to get him more powerful.
I could.
1 die is perfectly good for opening doors because he doesn't count as a witch in for electronics purposes. So
Okay.
all right, whose obedient spirit would you like to use?
Naomi's.
Okay. Then you can make a focus roll
Okay.
and spend 1 essence.
Yep. Let's do it.
Or if you have Reshape Corpse, you can spend 3 essence, and then he'll get 2 die rolls for for actions. So it's totally up to you.
I don't think I want to spend that
Okay.
essence.
Yeah, he's just a security guard.
He's just opening doors.
Right.
How hard can that
Ooh. Perfect. So he has a 8 clock. He is going to survive quite a bit of trauma.
be? Door zombie.
Yeah. Right, and Naomi, immediately, as soon as she inhabits his corpse, runs over to you to the best of her ability and gives you a big ol' smooch. In this security guard's body that was just trying to kill you.
Thanks.
This is the second time that Naomi has been resurrected in a zombie in DRG, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
I think you're right because
I mean, she died in
she died
here.
in one. Yeah.
She died in a DRG, so.
Just keep calling her back in here.
Yeah, she might be
She'll
useful.
never escape.
Yeah. Okay, let us jump back up to the roof, or not quite the roof, but nearly the roof, as Yarrow and Seth have just opened the door into the administrative offices on the top level of the DRG building. You see like 8 cubicles with computers and a couple of offices, a conference room, and some executive corner offices.
Okay.
Like, I need to slip into the least occupied room as fast as possible.
It looks like everybody was taking a break together, and it's kind of late in the day, so this room is actually clear.
Oh, nice. Well, we need to get downstairs as soon as possible, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Something interesting just happened to Morningstar's face.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that too. There was
Did you
like a
guys
little
see
blip.
that? That was weird.
Mhm.
It was like
I saw it.
when you look at a 3D model in something and you like get the camera too close to it. It was like we could see inside of your head.
Yeah.
It was a
You were
very
on the inside of my head.
a very
Were
Elise.
my eyeballs floating?
No, your eyeballs were gone too. It was a very Elise thing to happen.
Aw, kitty.
He wanted the attention, and now he's got it.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, just to be confusing, that's another Hermes. Yeah, we managed to find 2 cast members that both had pets named Hermes that like to appear on stream. We have like 10 pets in this room, or in this house. None of them are named Hermes, and none of them appear on stream. So apparently it's a Hermes only rule.
Oh, they
They
have
love the
messages.
camera.
Yeah,
The requisite for guest spots.
yeah.
So it
I'm
looks...
still okay, so I guess I could scout a little bit ahead.
I'm sorry.
If this room's clear, then My audio's cutting out?
Yeah,
It's a little
something weird.
crackly.
Yeah, crackly.
I'll lean a little closer to the mic. Is that any better?
It's still weird and crackly, but I can understand you better, yeah.
Okay. As a fly, I'll just try to slower. As a fly, can I go to like the nearest door where it would be stairs, or I guess half stairs because can't use elevator. If you say this floor is clear, to jump the floor underneath this one, see if
Okay,
the stairwell's clear.
gotcha. Yeah, go ahead and make a roll for that. What would you like to use?
Probably survey.
That makes sense to me. I'll say that's controlled because of your form and standard effect.
Okay. I only have one blip in survey, so we'll see how this goes. Ooh,
Hey,
not bad.
partial success. All right. You get one. You end up having to. You look around on this floor, and you don't really find any areas, any ways to go back down. But when you go back to the staircase, you find that the doors are not properly sealed. So when you go down one more floor and check it out, that door also is improperly sealed. And you are able to crawl under that door into a room. You can feel cold air coming out from underneath the door, and you're worried that as a fly, you might not be able to handle that level of cold.
Okay.
Um,
Is Yarrow following me, or just am I on my own right now?
I think.
Yeah, I'm using. It's like I'm using you like a drone with a jump. Follow behind.
In that case, shift into a rat, I guess.
Okay. So just
Be chunky enough to, like, small enough to get underneath the door, but chunky enough that I can maybe jump on a door handle.
okay. Yep. So you fly under the door, and then once you get to the inside, you turn into a rat. So you're a little bit bigger and can tolerate the cold quite a bit better. And you also have pretty good low light vision because it is lights out in here. You can see some red emergency lights in the sort of corners of the room and demarking exits and things like that, mostly the one directly above your head. But it looks like this is cold storage. You see a large number of you see a long hallway, and then you see freezer rooms on either side of you. They're like mausoleum sized.
Morgue.
Yeah, it's kind of like a morgue. But it looks like each body might have its own room, maybe 6 to 8 feet deep by about 3 or 4 feet wide, just enough to have a door. And it looks like these doors are very well sealed to the outside. There's a lot of cold leaking into the hallway, but it looks like the rooms through those windows are much, much, much colder.
Okay. If we have telepathic relay, then I guess I'm relaying this to Yarrow. Is this the option we want to do? We want to try a different stairwell? Should I let you in?
I think that Hollis would want to know about this room. To be honest, it is a room full of corpses.
There, if there's one body per room, you're looking at about 16 bodies, most likely. But it's hard to tell from the outside.
Okay.
Well, I don't think we're gonna run up and tickle their toes, so we're not
No.
much to use with a bunch of dead bodies.
Well, again, is this the only stairwell? You said this is cold storage. Like, do we have to go through this to get to the next level?
Nope, you could
Or is there like...
you could get back out if you were smaller and go down another level and see what you could see.
Alrighty, I'll squeeze my little rat body out under the door, and I'll just make my way down the stairwell, I guess.
Yeah,
Or the
I
door's
think the
still
rat
too...
the rat might be a little too big still.
Okay, I'll just go back. I'll go to like a beetle or something.
Okay. Yep, that gives you a few extra seconds of able to crawl out under the door, and yep, you come out on the other side. And is Yara waiting for you there, or are you still upstairs in the administrative room?
I guess I would go ahead and spend an essence and try to alacrity to where I would meet them up, because otherwise
you have
I wouldn't be
you have
quite
plenty
sure.
of time, knowing that they're
Oh.
coming back out, to just walk down. You're completely safe. There don't even appear to be cameras in the in this stairwell.
Oh no, Yarl just wants to alacrity at this point.
She's become addicted to speed.
Speed kills.
I am the speed force now.
Like
I'll-
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'll even use one of the essences from my horn tips to do it, and that's when
Okay.
I'm gonna start just using all that extra essence. I can't walk normal anymore.
Yeah. All right, you run down the stairs and then down the next set of stairs, and you stop right in front of Seth, the beetle.
Incredible, honey. Thanks for you for the follow.
When you two make you going down further?
Yeah,
there's nothing
get
to go
down.
up, so I guess we have to go down.
Okay. Is there anything particular you're looking for, or just trying to sort of suss out the whole place?
Sussing out the place might be good. I mean, now there's this room that we know about to tell Hollis for, so like I think we want to try to. Do you want to get back to them, or should we be just checking out if there's anything else that's cool?
Well,
I might make it known through our telepathic bond that I have just killed a man and left a poor woman completely incapacitated in the middle of the lobby, so we might not want to tarry for too long.
Like, how
Alright.
we can at a clipped pace. How about while we're walking to where Elise and Hollis are, I can use my Grimoire sense and use my resonance to see if there's any resonances while we're on our way down that would be interesting. Just
running.
maybe basically I'm gonna just do a little browse of the place while
Okay.
we're going down.
Yeah, I would say the only real witchy resonance you're getting is downward through that stairwell. So if you want to just sort of follow your nose down, then you end up on that first floor with Elise and Hollis, and you sense resonance even further down.
Oh.
So I
Well,
guess we're going down.
yeah. Sugar, we're going down. Swinging, hopefully.
All right, I am going
You
to
beat me to it, darling.
I'm going to start a 4 o'clock of that the rest of security is going to be alerted, just due to like normal patrols, them finding the bodies, that kind of thing.
And the camera, which shows a giant pool of blood.
Yeah.
But no body.
No body.
And Hollis is covered, so Hollis is leaving tracks.
Full scary
Hollis
moment.
is just making like blood angels on the floor.
Welcome to Lil Snow Panda and Gravel Honey. Thanks for the follows. All right. So the 4 of you have met back up, and you could take a group action, or
Oh, I'm down for a group action.
Yeah.
What is the action? What are we doing? Hunting still? Trying to find our way down.
yeah. So you do have access to an elevator from here. It seems that the main stairwell of the building does not extend any further into the subfloors, but you expect...
Okay, we got zombie fingers.
Yeah, but you expect that the elevator does. So when you enter the elevator, assuming that is what you want to do, it seems to be the only way down. You find the 5 floors above you require a level of access, and the subfloors require a different level of access, which is beyond what you have in the 2 key cards that you currently possess.
The security guard guy's key card doesn't work?
It does not. You think maybe administrators, that top floor, might have had key cards that would be relevant. Otherwise, you're not entirely sure.
If we were to open... Is there a hatch?
Thank you, Isabella, for the Hand of Fate. We have a 1.
Yeah.
Your Hand of Fate dice are broken.
They are.
The
They're
Hand
rigged.
of Fate seems to be as bad for the players as the regular dice bot, so I guess that makes sense. As you are all standing on the elevator, the elevator door starts to close. I assume you probably don't think anything of it. It normally does that.
Yeah.
After a little while. But as soon as it closes, you start to ascend upward unexpectedly.
The Bossa Nova music playing.
Well, if we
That's
get
an
back
elevator
up to the roof, we can get the key cards from the right people.
This is true.
Um,
That are
We will take
sleeping.
all the key cards we can find.
when you get to the 3rd floor, the bell dings and the doors start to open. And standing in front of you are 2 lab-coated scientists who seem to have been completely unaware of your presence here. And they immediately stumble over each other to try to run away from the 4 of you, especially because Hollis is completely covered in blood.
I'm gonna chase them down.
I was just going to call for them to stop, but yes, go chase them down, and that's fine.
You can do that too. I'll just run around them in circles.
Isabella says, "I am not sorry." Okay, so they are slipping and tumbling and crawling over each other, trying to get as absolutely far away from you as possible. It looks like they had shut off all the lights on their floor. They were going to be the last ones to go. So when they turn to run away from you, they are literally running into the darkness. Luckily for them, it's a room they know pretty well, and it's a room you've never been in before, but I still think you've got a pretty good chance. So
Goblins have night vision. That's a thing now.
All right, so what exactly do you want to do?
Mostly just frighten them into staying in where we can see them. So I'm just gonna try to circle their feet, get in, trip them, do whatever I need to do to get them to stay.
Okay.
Bite their legs off.
What would you like?
Maybe not.
And
We might
go to
need them.
Hollis and come with, and then I do some kind of I hold them off on one side. Like you're
Okay.
gonna try.
So maybe a group action. You spread out and try to corral them.
Trip.
All right. What do you want to use for that? And who wants to lead?
Maybe a
Maybe
brawl.
I was gonna say a brawl or a brawl, because I would like to shapeshift into like a panther or a large cat or
Ooh,
something long and wide to kind of block off like a hallway and to just look kind of menacing.
Yeah.
nice.
Okay.
So who's leading?
I have a lot of willpower. I can lead.
Okay. I'm about midway on willpower. Okay, so we're brawling.
Yep. I'm gonna say this is risky standard effect.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Hopefully you do better than I did.
Oh, I was like, what?
So I think
There we go.
Seth, your little panther toes keep getting stuck in the carpet.
Panther toe.
My toe
Oh,
beam!
triple fives from
Ooh.
Hollis. Okay, you have a much better time. Seth, it's like Velcro. Your little toe beans getting stuck to the floor. And so you're like having to raise your paws up really high. It looks like you're like dressage.
Yeah,
So
You're enchanted.
not a huge amount of help, but it's very distracting. And Hollis is able to entwine herself among these two scientists' feet, and you two end up with them blocked in the corner. The downside or the negative complication that happens is we're going to put 1 on that clock of that you are found out by security.
Security?
Yeah, so 3 left on that clock.
Okay. I have a security guy to vouch for us. It's fine.
Oh yeah, he's covered in blood and he's on the elevator with you as well.
I
Good
Still has
kind
a
of,
knife sticking out of his
Yeah.
neck.
you know, the cockroach guy from Men in Black who put on the guy's skin. That's kind of how I imagine it. You know, just wrong enough to be frightening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he definitely looks. He's all drained of his blood because you smushed it all out. So he definitely looks overly pale, and yeah. All right. So yeah, they are cowed and in the corner, you know, with a lot of "don't kill us, that kind of thing. Actually, it's don't kill me," because they're both cowards and don't really care for each other too much.
Okay, now it's Elisa's turn.
Well, should I attempt to find out if they have any key cards?
Yeah,
I mean, you could
key
just
card.
snatch one off one of them's belt if you wanted to.
We could do that. I would like to see if I could do a little bit of a mental takeover
Okay.
and see if they know exactly what key cards we need,
Sure.
so that we don't run into another issue.
Yeah, levels and everything.
They should know at least that much.
Mm-hmm.
What clearance one needs, even if they don't have it themselves. Plus, if it goes wrong, it might be funny again.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
we might have another one.
okay. Gonna say risky standard.
All right. Then, let's see if Elisa's smoke has a better impact this time. Partial
Success.
better
Okay.
than a failure.
So I feel like your touch has been very gentle in the past to brains, but you're finding it a bit more difficult to sort of get in through that. Like there's like a layer of like surface thoughts, and you're going deeper than that, and you find that you're, for some reason with these people, you need to push a little harder. You do a little damage to his brain, but you still have access to just about everything. He'll never be the same, but that doesn't matter too much to you, I'm sure.
No, certainly not. Well, nothing really does.
As far as information about keycards, you find that this is not so much a keycard issue as a complete access issue. Any excursions into the subfloors need to be approved by supervisors, and that must be done on a computer workstation.
Oh dear.
So basically you need to requisition access as needed. But you do know the process. This person has definitely gone through that process before, so you recognize it. Or you know how to do it.
Well, we have two options. We can either hold someone at gunpoint so that they do this, because there's no way it's going to work very well for us. Or a proposal, if we can get somehow into the elevator shaft, I have to imagine Yaro would be able to use telekinesis to move the counterweight.
Telekinesis is definitely strong enough, yeah. Greater telekinesis, that is, yeah, which she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just repel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do it by force. We don't need to mess with all this.
Yeah, because we're not going to get a supervisory approval.
I don't really want to keep saying
morning.
bureaucracy. We just bounce throughout the building trying to find out who has supervisor status on the computers so we can threaten them.
I just thought of a good use for sigils that I hadn't thought of previously, which would be like, you put a sigil on their heads, power word sleep. If you walk out that door, you fall asleep. That would
think
be
that's
fun.
perfect.
I
Sleeping sigils, basically. I just have a stamper, and I use some of that Kraken ink that was left over, and I just use it to stamp it on people.
Apparently,
You have a one pass.
the police do not like us putting people to sleep.
Nah, they never do. But
I'm sure it's that and not the incident with the security guard.
Yeah.
The little gob covered in blood running around.
Running around everyone's feet. Leaving little
Standing on
gob.
the wall that Hollis was here.
Yeah. Leaving little gob prints everywhere.
At first I thought when we came in here that the gag was a little bit dramatic, even perhaps barbaric, but obviously quite necessary. For their own safety.
Yeah, okay. Let's bust open this elevator.
yeah, let's go. I guess we can go ahead and see if we can slam this this elevator down. Well, not slam so much. We want to protect us, but yeah, counterweight this elevator down.
What do you want to do with these two scientists?
Oh, I'm gonna totally do this. I'm gonna use one willpower. I think it is for a flashback that I have made the little sigil stamp.
Oh, you
stamper.
don't need to do that. They're oh, I gotcha.
I want it to be an actual like
Little
crafted
stamp.
sigil
Nice.
stamper.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
That way somebody else can use it if they need to.
Yeah, you can use a downtime action from your future self to do that, because that's usually
Oh.
what it costs.
Okay.
And then you could make
The
a
hero just got
crafting.
like a little pad like outside a club and just like stab everyone's hands.
Yeah.
You make a crafting roll.
All right. Let's see. I got a lot. Oh, I did not mean to hit that.
Like a little
There we go.
stamp with 3 Z's on it.
Yeah. pretty
Aw.
good. Hey, it's a partial success.
Okay. So on a craft roll, let me pull that up. On a craft roll, that is Assembling a charm. Here we go on a craft roll. That is a 4 o'clock. So it has 4 uses before it runs out of magical ink on the stamp.
Okay, so we can magically ink stamp 4 people.
Yeah.
Sorry, my camera decided to have a little travel there.
And because you did it this way, the sigils aren't going to cost you any essence.
Okay.
So that effectively gives you 4 essence. I mean, not really, but...
For stamp, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the 2 here, obviously, we're gonna stamp them.
Bump, bump.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right on the forehead too. It's
Nice.
just
Okay. And yeah, and what spell are you attaching?
Oh, I'm just gonna do the power word
Okay.
sleep. They're just gonna if they leave this area, they're just gonna go to sleep.
Alright, so that'll cost 2 essence.
And then, which I have 2 left in my horn, so I'll use the last 2 that are left in my horns for that.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then I'll have to try to telekinesis the counterweight.
Let's...
With
Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, you all make it back to the elevator, and when you get in, you're on the 3rd floor. Everything seems fine.
That's concerning. Seems fine.
like we'll take it down the normal way until we get to the lowest level possible, and then we can telekinesis it.
Alright, it dings when you get down to the 1st level. And the doors
and then I think
open, and you see the blood trail on the ground. And then the doors close
it's
again.
so beautiful, Hollis.
And you're in quiet privacy with just the gentle sounds of piano jazz playing over the elevator speaker.
Oh, some nice music. I think from here we will try to counterweight the rest of the way down.
Okay. So
if I can focus enough.
yeah, you're gonna need to so you'll climb up out of the through the roof hole. Okay. And
the emergency exit, I just kind of I do a little hippity hop up there.
Yeah.
The access there and just.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure the counterweights usually are right above. So I would say I could probably see it pretty well. And then I think it's a focus roll.
Sounds good.
And I will spend the willpower to give me an extra dice on that as well.
So I'm gonna say it's reduced effect because there's something that you're not noticing. But as far as the counterweight goes, complete effect. So.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see with my 3 dice.
You might get a crit, and if you do,
yeah, exactly.
you'll.
Oh no!
Not quite. Okay. So you, with ease, move the counterweight, and you feel at first you do move downward, but you move downward about 2 inches, and then you feel metal grinding against metal as you are hitting some kind of a lockout mechanism that is keeping you from going further. But you're still holding that counterweight, so it's as soon as this lock comes undone, you'll be able to send yourselves down.
Since it's non-magical, would this count? Yeah, it's a lock. So can I
does.
just spend an essence? I can spend an essence and just
you're
pop it out.
Holding it up, and then you reach down, and you're like, as above, so below. And so you spend 1 essence, and you work your magic through the lock, and the mechanism creaks open, and you fall several feet for a few seconds, and then the elevator continues to descend normally. And
everyone hold on to your britches.
There are 3 levels in the basement. So you can choose where you want to let it off. It's not gonna line up perfectly with the thing, so you'll have to, get the doors open in a different way, but
I figure I would let it off as soon as I felt that presence, that resonance again.
okay. It seems to all be coming from underground, and it's definitely getting a lot stronger the further you go down.
Oh, then we're gonna go all the way down to the bottom. I give nobody a choice. We're all going down.
We're going down. Okay.
Well, earlier around. No.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna make a fortune roll. See what's down here, how bad it is. This is gonna be inverted, so more 6s are worse for you guys in this specific case.
It's only one.
Hey, that's not too bad for you all. Alright. Okay. So you take the elevator till it comes to rest in its at the extent of its gears, and the doors are not opening, but you kind of expected that might be the case. Now would be the time to use one of those cards you pulled off of one of the people from the 3rd floor, possibly.
Just put them all up there.
Hand him off to a zombie guy and let him
Okay.
open the door.
Okay. Alright. I am going to take a quick break before you all get into the lowest sub-basement of the building, and keep you all in suspense for just a few more moments. We'll be right back. welcome back. I think our microphones can be heard during that. I just realized, so I'll have to do some tweaking.
So just hear us go, ooh, pretty intro.
Yeah. Now on our Discord, Cheese Exchange Program, we'll be definitely looking to start that up on Discord. So if you're not already a member and you love cheese, come join us on Discord, and we'll get the logistics of that worked out ASAP. All right.
Everyone's going to donate to Gavin and Andrea's tip jar to consume cheese a month.
Ooh, you turned into a weird robot there at the end. That was very hard to hear.
That winter cold.
The doors to the elevator begin to open. You can see extremely bright lights inside the room, and it looks like it is prepped for surgery. It is an extremely clean room. The lights are mostly focused on 2 tables that are at the center of a span of overhead lights. And on one of those tables is what looks like Bobby if you drained most everything out of him, more than just his blood. He just looks like a shriveled sack of skin on one table, and an unconscious or semi-conscious satyr on the table next to him, and they are connected by tubes and wires. There is some kind of metal device that is wrapped around the satyr's chest and attached to the bed that he is laying upon. You recognize the satyr and Bobby, of course, instantly. And there are several cameras mounted to little tiny robotic tanks. You can see doctors' faces on screens with a camera sitting just above the screen, and they're sort of rolling around and getting really close to the satyr, and they've got little metal arms that are coming out, and you watch as one of them holds his hand still while the other one jabs something in to his flesh. And it looks like they are doing experiments on this satyr from a remote location using telerobotics. And you see 3 such drones that are roaming around, and one of them that was observing spots you immediately. And starts rolling toward you, completely unconcerned for its own safety, of course. And you see that there is an observation deck sort of around this floor, and you can see that it has an elevator entrance up 1 level. So if you would have come in from the 2nd subfloor, you would have been in the observation area. But you are on the surgery floor. Yeah, what do you do?
What if we just touched all the electronics? Or, like, everybody just go grab an electronic.
I was just going to say, can we just flick the light switch off? Like, the robots, are...
Yeah,
if the cameras can't see to perform surgery, then, I guess they have to kind of stop.
Yeah. They have little lights on them and everything, but you could probably disorient them at least somewhat by flipping off all the lights that are on the light switch to your right. There's a series of controls as well nearby. It looks like basically a standing desk with a whole series of buttons on it. but there's nobody
Okay.
manning it.
I'm sure if we went and pressed enough buttons, it would eventually break. Although, I don't. What are we trying to do here? Just be destructive? Or are we trying to rescue someone at this point?
Yeah, let's snatch this satyr and break as much shit as we can on the way out.
Will we be able to snatch this thing? Are they going to be in such a state as moving them would be fatal?
Guess we don't know until we check them out.
It's unclear without access to their body, and
Also, it does occur to me I don't care. So we could just. I'll just follow along with what you darlings do. I don't really care if these people die. I'm just here to kill. And to see if we can track down this murderer before it gets one of you. Or kidnapper. But the result is the same.
Well, I guess I'll charge the robots coming our way. I'm still in panther form, I'm assuming at this point. So
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna try to like lunge at it and see if I can knock it down.
Alright, you might have traction problems on the floor, but at least it'll be slippery rather than Velcro-y. So,
No grip at this time.
Alright.
I'll do a brawl roll.
Okay. I'm gonna say that's controlled standard 5. Okay. For the partial success, I think you bowl it over, and your wild witchiness seems to get to it, and you think you're far enough away from it as you feel like the batteries are about to overload and explode, but you get struck by a piece of shrapnel from the resulting explosion, and you're going to take level 1 harm. Shrapnel wound, you can decide where it is, probably somewhere in the front of your body. Shoulders, face.
I'll do face. Lunge at it with my face. It makes sense if it exploded in my face.
It was just a piece of plastic, but it shattered off in such a way that it became relatively sharp. Alright. Yep, that's one.
Funny you said the battery's dying because my buds are broken, so I'm just gonna do that real quick.
That's
But I can still hear you. So.
one robot down.
I'm gonna have Zombie Man.
Okay.
So, how heavy are these robots? Can he like physically lift one of these robots and throw it at the other one?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna see if he can do that.
Okay. 1 die.
Okay.
I say also controlled standard. Hey!
Yeah.
Alright, the 2 robots impact each other, and both of the screens go dark. You're relatively sure that they are incapacitated.
No more surgery.
Right, but should we quickly try to get up there and kill those doctors?
We might want to. They probably know who the Phantom person is. So if we could get one of them and get in their brains, we could probably figure out who they are.
Yeah. But they are not here.
Yes, I can't exactly blow smoke through a window. Well, unless it's open.
Would I be able to run up and knock the window out somehow so we can all get up, climb up there?
Oh, there isn't anybody in the observation area currently. It's
They're
empty.
completely remote.
Yeah. There are some cameras up there, but you're not even sure if they're being monitored. It looks like this was pretty minor level thing on their part. Like you get
Okay, well,
you get the feeling that they weren't too terribly concerned about this.
yeah. How bad off is the satyr person?
You could do a roll to find out, I think. What would you like? Maybe study or survey?
Um, does anybody else have any more study or survey than me?
I suppose
Well,
I might. In fact, Elise has kind of been our medic thus far, so
yeah.
I think Seth also has been kind of on the medical side as well. Although that's very Seth-oriented medicine.
Seth's always the one taking a beating.
If anybody has a healing power, like Elise does, sorry, hit my mic there. That could come in handy as well.
Well, I could use my healing power, but first I think we should potentially see what the damage is. Well, actually, I suppose if I just use it,
Yeah, it's
it'll
going to
heal.
be a controlled action regardless, so.
Well, everybody get close because I can affect everyone around us. So,
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Seth, maybe your broken bark, we can deal with that as well.
Well, then in that case, I'll just nuzzle your leg as a panther. Please. Heal my face.
Okay.
All right, so there has been a change, but I don't think there's a roll to it for the healing node. No, there's been a change. So it's 4 essence, and I can affect everyone nearby. How much essence is
It
in
should be
that?
less than that now, if I've got the
Is
right
it?
book. Let's see. 3 essence affects the entire coven. Oh, I see. You're adding an extra person. Yeah, that makes sense. 4. Okay.
But I'll probably use my cigarette holder for that. I mean, that's what, 5?
4.
6.
Just
So,
4. But
oh,
yeah, your cigarette holder holds, I think, 6. So.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, then I can heal everybody a little bit.
Okay.
With
In that.
smoke, inhale some smoke and feel healthier. It's just like they taught you to do back in the 50s, right? Okay, get healthy.
All right. You reach over and remove the breathing mask from the satyr, and as soon as your spell goes off, you can tell he's instantly restored to what you would probably consider, looking at him, to very nearly, if not completely, full health.
Sweet.
Um, However, he does appear to be strapped down underneath this metal dome that's covering his midsection. Yarrow, you take a look at him, and he looks so full heritage satyr that it's like kind of surprising. Like, he has almost no human features, aside from a vaguely human face. Like he has.
Where did you come from?
He has a wet nose and, all that.
Oh, cute
We
little
don't know.
guy.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy. Like, nobody hurt the little guy now. I mean, I can instantly use Arcane Supremacy and pop another essence and just undo all his straps, right?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Let's just undo him. It's like, no, come on, little guy. You don't need to be in there no more.
All right. Yeah, you hear some mechanisms give way, and then the whole thing pops and raises up like a convertible. And you see several devices that were registering probably his pulse and blood pressure and all that extricate themselves from his skin. And he is a very furry man, covered in reddish brown fur. He's about 7 feet tall, and yeah.
Well, he's not just a little guy. He's a big little guy.
Yeah, he's a big little guy. He seems a bit out of it still, from whatever they were probably pumping in through his mask. But he's able to, with prodding, he's able to stand. But you can tell his head is, kind of waving to the side, and you're like, security's probably going to be on us any second, but you're not hearing any alarms or anything.
Well, we need to figure out the fastest way out of here. We don't know anything much else about this Ruby Phantom, but...
Well, perhaps this Satyr was one of the Ruby Phantom's victims.
If he was a victim of the Ruby Phantom, then he should know something.
Yeah.
Right. How do you guys want to get out of here?
It's like I was like, I'm really good at making my way in, but not very good at making my way out of it.
We could just take the elevator all the way back up to the roof and try to escape. Or to the main floor and escape that way.
You could
I still do have a gun.
You could wild magic your way back through the astral or the underworld, or using your portal as a conduit and see if you can pop out through your portal, or using the power of the portal. Otherwise, it's going to be
with your wild magic.
Otherwise, it's going to be back up the elevator, and Yarrow at this point isn't quite sure how that would work with the weight and everything, and the locks. If the locking mechanism re-engaged, you might be stuck down here until you disengage it again. And there's a good chance that these doctors that were doing this have called the authorities.
Have they?
At least
authorities, but there's...
Yeah, at least the higher ups of DRG. So you will probably expect a force on the first floor.
Then maybe we should go to the roof, or the astral, or the underworld, or...
Totally up to you guys.
I try to avoid the use of wild magic when we can.
Yeah. Well, we're so deep down here. I think I'd rather try to make our way to the roof and see what we run into. If everybody else is fine with that.
Yeah.
I could use some fresh air.
All right.
There's too many bodies down here. It smells of blood.
Okay. Let's say 3 essence for Yarrow to do all the same things again in reverse order, and get you out of here. But we will add 3 ticks to the clock at the same time in exchange for not making any rolls. And so yeah, they are definitely here. But you're in control of the elevator, so you can determine what floor you pop out on. Your choices are -2, 1, or -3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, I'd say, do we want to just go to the roof and pop off the roof?
Yeah, 5 will get you as close to the roof as possible.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a broken back anymore, so they can carry someone.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think we'll totally get on the 5 and just get as close to the roof as possible. I have used up all my essence with that, though.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was exactly enough to...
Wow. All right. So the elevator doors pop out at level 5. The elevator is sort of stuck halfway between level 4 and level 5, but you're all able to crawl out and get the satyr out as well. You are in that giant office room with that all the executives appear to have come from. You do recognize Seth and Yarrow being back here. That one of the offices that you're seeing seems to have paper file cabinets, unlike most of the other Everything else has been electronic. So,
Well.
what are y'all doing now?
Well, I don't think we have a whole lot of time to go through paperwork because the people are here to get us.
To get you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did break the elevator. So they're
Yeah,
going to
it
have to
is
run up
stuck
the stairs.
between floors currently. If you just prop open those doors, yeah, it would be stuck here.
Well, somebody grab something and throw it in there.
All right, yeah, you chuck a desk over there, and the elevator tries to go down, and just gets to the desk and just sort of crunches it, but doesn't break through. These are only because they're fancy desks, because this is the executive floor.
Mm.
Only the fanciest of oak.
But you can hear shouting coming up the staircase as well. So you have one more floor to go up to get to the roof. And does anyone want to stay behind for a moment and get some files?
Like, unless we just blindly grab files and shove them down our shirts, I don't know if we could do a very good search.
Yarrow, you could pop the door for 1 essence without having to make a roll.
I have no essence. So.
Yeah, so you would get a consequence. Do you want to just take a consequence and pop the door?
Yeah, let's take consequence. I could
Okay.
be. I'm reckless as it is, so we can. And unstable, so let's go.
You put your hand on the door and your fingers go completely limp, like they're made of hot dogs.
Hot dog finger.
But the door pops open.
I just wave everybody with my hot dog finger.
Well, Hollis can stay behind and close the door and be sneaky, and then when it's time for them to leave, they can go through the shadow thingy
Oh,
that I
okay.
have.
Through the underworld? Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's no roll for that, and you have the essence, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we can let you make a, study or survey, and everybody else escapes out to the roof. So what are the three of you doing now that you're on the roof?
Let me see.
What we got here? Everybody jump! Trust in the Matrix. Let's go.
Everybody jump.
I could do a physical transformation and carry everybody off.
I was gonna say, if Hollis hands off her broomstick, Elise could fly.
Oh, in theory, and then Hollis could ride her owl.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way, Yarrow can hover, and Steph can fly, and Elise can fly, and then you can all meet back up later.
Yeah,
We gotta carry the satyr.
well, I can carry what's his name because I can just shapeshift into something. I can do a
Oh, yeah, we never did ask his name.
yeah. I could do a 3 essence pop for a silver wing, and that'd be strong enough to carry.
All right. 1 action roll from Andrea for your grabbing files.
So, I have a question.
Yeah.
I took a new general power.
Ooh.
I took clairvoyance.
Okay.
And so it's a gather information from a remote place using
Yeah.
your hearing and sight. So could I use this to help me find more pertinent information to the phantom person rather than just spend a whole lot of time going through a bunch of crap that we don't want?
Well, no, I would assume you would just grab a handful of the papers that look important and take them with you. But yeah, once you have a location, you could definitely use clairvoyance to look at it.
It would be the file cabinet.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
I
Is
just
it
don't want
Hollis or Yarrow that has the special Mary Poppins bag? Just shove the
I have-
entire filing cabinet in.
It,
Yeah, I
it's
have
it's
Mary
full of
Poppins.
shredded gnome right now.
Oh yeah.
to.
Still,
And
I'll
random
send that out.
crafting tools.
I was just thinking just a simple 1 die roll and see what you get, and we won't discuss it now. We'll just so you can meet back up with everybody.
Okay.
Because I think a clairvoyance roll would get your mind there, but wouldn't get your senses would not be able to really see anything there. Like, it has to be out in the open. Like, you could read a book that's open to a certain page using clairvoyance, but you couldn't go through a file cabinet that's closed using clairvoyance.
I mean, I would open the file cabinet and just use clairvoyance to find a specific file that's more pertinent information.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's see. Is there a roll? I don't think there's a roll. Oh yeah, you just get to choose.
It's a gather information roll.
Yeah.
I would assume.
That way you don't have to, like, physically take anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, spend an essence and we will get to the we'll get you back home, and then we'll figure it out later.
Okay. So I'm gonna make a study roll, correct?
You can choose, yeah.
Okay. I was just confused.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah, it probably by the time you get back to the Covenstead and you're ready to read it, you send your mind back there, and somebody has closed up and locked the filing cabinet again.
see, that's not. I'm confused about how clairvoyance works.
It lets you move your senses to another place so you can look around as if you were there, but you can't touch anything.
Okay, well that's not clairvoyance. We should rename that.
Okay. Yeah.
So the idea that I was going for was is I would use clairvoyance to open up the file cabinet, use my, clairvoyance spidey tingly senses to find the important file and just yank them, not pay any attention to, necessarily.
Oh, okay. Clairvoyance lets you do that lets you see things from a distance. You would want what Seth has, psychometry.
No, I don't want psychometry. That's not what it is either. Anyway, let's just move on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So everybody gets back to the Covenstead and joins back up. When you, as Hollis is on the way, joining up with everybody, Hollis detects a presence in your domain, and you feel a cold hand reach onto your domain, your island, and leave something there, and then it retracts. I'll let you know what it looked like later. And it leaves a small note, very fancy looking, on the shore of your island on a tall rock.
Man,
British fancy or French fancy? Chat will want us to specify.
What kind of fancy?
British or French?
Oh, British fancy. I
Very
don't know French fancy.
Pretty.
Okay. All right. Who wants to do drawing down the moon?
I did it last time.
I can do it this time.
Okay.
So, being back at the coven, because I think it was Bloody Rose White Wolf who said it, and I love the idea. I just want to hold Ribert in my hands and hold him up into the sky, Lion King style, have him illuminated in the moon, and just kind of shake him around, just like everyone bask in Ribert's glow. Enjoy the moon. He's slimy, and he'll reflect the moon onto everybody.
Nice.
Beautiful.
3 dice.
Just starts croaking and then suddenly...
Good little boy, just wants to
a
be
bunch of
involved. He's like,
frogs
I'm
come up.
helping. I once again lost the picture, the command.
Oh,
DGTM.
Exclamation GDT.
yeah, drawing down the moon.
Yeah, I just keep thinking every time I have to put a number.
Yeah, it's number...
That helps if I use the right letter.
That number is 3.
TM3?
Exclamation point 3 DDTM.
Uh,
Although I could probably just change it to moon. That might be easier.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got a 6.
Yay!
Yay.
Start 6 essence, 3 willpower.
Yep.
Don't mind if I do.
And for Yarrow, that's 6 essence for you, and 6 essence for your enchanted tool. For Morningstar, for Elise, that's you can choose to split it however you'd like.
Well, I've so it's 6. It's just 6 for me. All right. I'm cool. Okay. I think that will leave me with...
Yeah, basically Yarrow gets effectively 12.
I see. All right. Well, then I will clear out the holder and just keep 2 on me.
All right. Well, everybody is taken off, and we will be taken off too. And so let us quickly go through and tell everybody where they can find us. I will start with Morningstar.
Well, if you're looking to find me, you can go to Twitter or Instagram and search up _Cytheria. Or you can go on Facebook and just look up the Cytheria without a space or anything in there. And I would say that we have something very special planned for you this week, but honestly, it's a little bit of a redundant statement because I seem to think every single week is something special. Because my marvelous editor Megan does such fabulous work. Want to talk about your work, darling?
Yes, sorry, just making note. We do post every Friday, and as the photographer and editor for the Morningstar content, I'm trying to do more work from behind the scenes. I am regretfully delayed. I announced the page, and then there's still nothing up on it. I'm trying my best. I'm sorry. There eventually will be content for behind the scenes, sneaky, cheeky, fun little edits, and I have some other ideas for fun things, but I just on the execution portion of it. But if you want to see any of the work that we're doing, you can just check it out of the previously mentioned Morningstar links. Same spiel every week. I'm behind. Morningstar's attractive. Go to the link.
Zelwyn?
Well, I'm Zaylin. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Zaylin, except for TikTok's under Goddess of Zaylin. There's a fun little link thing, I think, that has all my links and kind of fun stuff in there. But I'm always up to something crazy and creative, a little chaotic as usual. So if you like chaos and creativity, that's what I'm good for a follow for.
Awesome. And Andrea?
Yeah, I'm Andrea. You can find me on Twitter at Andrea T. Moore. You can find me on Instagram at Menagerie Nest. And you can find me here on Fridays playing Breath of the Wild. Having a super fun time. So yeah, come check it out.
All right, and I'm Gavin. You can find me at Twitter at GavinTheGM. And we will be setting up our 10 Candles game soon for Patreon supporters, including our 2 newest Patreon supporters, Rebecca Dementia and Seth the Neurotic Fish. I can't wait to meet Seth. I'm not sure who that is.
I mean, with a name like that, like, they must be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right.
Hermes wants to say farewell as well.
Aww. All right. And I'll be editing the credits as they roll in just a moment to include our newest members. And but otherwise, I will say hope to see you Friday for the Breath of the Wild stream. Please continue sending Andrea get well soon messages. She needs everybody's help, although she's doing amazingly. And we will see you all at the latest next week. Have a great night.